Hi, everyone. Thank you all for viewing this virtual meeting recording for the first construction phase public information meeting for the Rourke Bridge replacement project. This recording will cover the meeting presentation that was also given in person on the evening of July 15th, 2025 at the Collegiate Charter School of Lowell. My name is Billy Parent. I'm the Public Involvement Manager for the project with the firm HNTB. We are supporting Mass DOT for the preliminary design and for public involvement on the project, which we're all very excited to be getting started. So we'll jump right into the agenda. I will be introducing the project team and speaking about the design build project delivery method. Peter Tramontosi with Mass DOT will be providing the project background. Kristen Whitman with Jacobs Engineering, the lead designer on the design build team, will be covering the project design. Andrew Kramberger with Skanska, the firm primarily responsible for construction, will be covering the construction and schedule. Then I will come back to close out with an overview of our public involvement plan and how to stay connected with the project. To continue with the specific entities and team members on the project was developed and is owned and administered by Mass DOT. Mustafa Sadek is the major projects design build project manager. Peter Tramontosi, Joseph Stasio, and Daniel Bolin help to manage project administration, engineering, and construction for Mass DOT Highway District 4, which consists of communities within northeastern Massachusetts, including portions of Essex, Middlesex, and Suffolk counties. For HNTV as the preliminary designer that developed the base technical concept for the project, Alex Murray is the preliminary design project manager. Graham Gasper serves as our senior engineer, and Patrick Marvin and myself will be supporting public involvement. For the design builder, Robert Pine is the vice president of operations, and Andrew Kramberger is the construction project manager, both for Skanska, and Kristen Whitman is the design project manager for Jacobs. Skanska and Jacobs are responsible for finalizing the design to meet the base technical concept and for performing the construction. Jacob serves as the designer and Skanska oversees and performs construction. The design builder also has public involvement support, which consists of Regina Villa and Associates, including Reagan Checchio, Emily Meyer, Kyle Olson, and Liam Kearney, to also support public involvement. Finally, I'd also like to mention that the primary municipal coordination for any municipal facilities and utilities will be with the City of Lowell. Before I turn it over to Peter Tramontosi with Mass DOT, I'll cover a few points about the project delivery. Preliminary bridge design and environmental permitting were completed in the 2023-2024 timeframe. Additionally, there was a robust public involvement process during the preliminary design phase, which included forming a stakeholder advisory committee and holding multiple public meetings and a design public hearing for design development, all of which took place from 2020 to 2024. At that point, Mass DOT advanced the preliminary design and issued a request for proposals for the project to be fully designed and constructed, and Skanska Jacobs was then awarded a competitive best value contract in May of 2025. This project will be completed using the design build project delivery method, where a single team manages both the final design and construction. This approach combines final design and construction into one phase, eliminating the need for a separate construction bid based on finalized plans and specifications. By streamlining the process, design build can reduce project timelines and foster greater collaboration amongst the project team. The benefits tend to include that it promotes innovation, reduces the owner's project risk, and expedites project delivery. This delivery method also enables the contractor to begin early construction on some items while final design is still underway. So with that, I will turn it over to Peter Tramontosi with Mass DOT to get into the details of the project background. Peter?
Great. Thank you, Billy. I appreciate it. My name is Peter Tramontosi. I work out of the District 4 office. The project background, as everyone is aware, is the Rourke Bridge in Lowell. Many of you are aware this bridge was built in 1983 and was opened to traffic in 1985. It provides a vital connection across the Merrimack River, as there are about 27,000 vehicles per day that use this crossing. As shown on the graphic, the UMass Boathouse is directly upstream of the bridge, and there are many soccer fields, the Esplanade, the parks, and the charter school all within walking distance of the bridge. Next slide, please. The existing conditions, as I had mentioned, the bridge has been in place since 1985, and while it is safe and inspected regularly, it is towards the end of its useful life. It does not meet current Mass DOT standards, as there are no shoulders or bike lanes, and it can only accommodate one travel lane in each direction. As you can see from the photo, the sidewalk is also outdated and is in much need of an upgrade. Next slide, please. Along the north side of the project, this shows the configuration along Pawtucket Boulevard. As you can see with this slide, there's also inadequate approach capacity on the north side, and there's only one left turning lane from Pawtucket Boulevard westbound onto the bridge. The traffic signal equipment is also outdated and in need of an upgrade. Next slide, please. This slide shows the south side looking north. Similar to the north side, the approach needs an upgrade, as do the traffic signals on the south side of the bridge. Next slide, please. When our project team was developing the base technical concept, they needed to make considerations for all the users within the area. As many of you know, this area is not only used by vehicles traveling over the bridge, but pedestrians, bicycles along the waterfront, and rowing within the Merrimack River. Next slide, please. The project purpose. So with this project, we're going to be replacing the bridge. We're going to be enhancing safety and connectivity for pedestrians, bicycles, emergency vehicles, and watercraft. And we're going to improve traffic operations at the Wood Street intersection with Pawtucket Boulevard, Middlesex Street, and Princeton Street. So what does that entail? So the scope of work for our project is we'll have a new relocated Rourke Bridge, which is slightly to the west, across the Merrimack River. This includes new abutments, new in-water bridge piers, and significant roadway improvements on the approaches. We will also have utility and roadway reconstruction along Pawtucket Boulevard and Middlesex Street. There's going to be significant landscaping and hardscape improvements. And then at the end of the project, once the new bridge is open to traffic, we're going to demolish the existing temporary bridge and remove the 1985 structure. This graphic shows the overall general scope of the project. As you can see, the bridge is built slightly to the west, and we have a legend at the bottom of the screen which shows the significant improvements that will be done on this project, which include the roadway reconstruction, the new landscaping that'll be done, the installation of sheer youth paths and bike lanes on both sides of the bridge and the river, significant sidewalk and hardscapes improvements as well. And with that, I'll turn it over to our lead designer, Kristen Whitman, who can discuss some of the elements that are highlighted on this screen.
Thanks, Peter. So starting off with the bridge design, this slide shows a cross-section of the new bridge. It will be 84 feet wide, which is much wider than the existing bridge, with 2 traffic lanes in each direction and sidewalks and bike lanes on each side. The bridge superstructure will be made up of 7 hybrid steel girders and a concrete deck. Utilities carried along the underside include a water main, drainage pipes, and fiber optic conduits. Next slide. This slide shows a rendering of the new bridge, showing the blue steel girders and several architectural elements. There are 6 curvilinear overlooks, undulating trellises at 4 of the overlooks, and benches inspired by the shape of the boats that race along this section of the river. The top side of the bridge will have roadway lighting, as well as aesthetic lighting along the trellises, the benches, and the bridge railing. Next slide. The bridge piers will be concrete wall piers with a full height granite facing from the base up to a concrete pier cap. This will provide a clean and simple look at all 6 piers, even though they vary in height from shorter piers at the north end to the taller piers at the south end. The full height granite walls are also consistent with other bridges along the Merrimack River. Next slide. Here's a nighttime view showing the roadway lighting, pedestrian and bike lighting, and the aesthetic lighting along the facade, piers, and the underside of the bridge. And on the next slide is an elevation view of the bridge at night, showing the lighting along the trellises and how the trellis layout is inspired by waves. Next slide. So here we have a few slides showing the work along the roadways in the project area. This is Pawtucket Boulevard near the west end of the project. We have roadway reconstruction shown in gray, the proposed shared use path in yellow, green for the grass areas, and a new section of concrete median in brown. Next slide. At the north end of the bridge, the new bridge alignment on Wood Street Extension comes into the intersection of Pawtucket Boulevard and Old Ferry Road. This intersection will be reconstructed for vehicles, bicycles, and pedestrians. There'll be new traffic signals, hardscape areas, and drainage basins. Next slide. So where the existing bridge currently intersects with Pawtucket Boulevard, the bridge will be demolished, and that whole area will be converted into an overlook park area with a shared use path, benches, and landscaping. And at the south end of the new bridge, Wood Street Extension will intersect with Middlesex Street. This intersection will be reconstructed with new traffic signals and to accommodate the bicycle and pedestrian movements through the intersection and along the shared use path. Now I'll pass it over to Andrew to present the construction approach.
Thank you, Kristen. Next slide, please. So the construction approach relies on maintaining access throughout construction for the existing vehicular and pedestrian traffic to allow local business access and driveways along the corridor. The new bridge will be constructed offline of the current bridge so that we can then tie the new bridge in and remove the existing bridge in one phase. Most of the work will occur during daytime hours, though some work will be required at night for utility work or lane closures so as to minimize traffic disruptions on the local streets. In terms of construction mitigation, we will have traffic management plans in place to minimize impacts to the roadway users and identify the best routes for truck traffic to go when accessing the construction site. The abutters and the community will be kept informed throughout construction through regular updates through Mass DOT, and major operations will be within confined work zones to separate active construction from the public. We want to minimize construction vehicles on local streets by using dedicated haul routes and minimizing truck traffic, and schedules will be coordinated with the rowing community as well to minimize impacts to the waterway on the Merrimack River. Noise and dust control mitigation will have noise monitoring and dust monitoring in process and utilize water spray to mitigate dust. Work will also be scheduled based on weather and events to minimize overall impact. Next slide, please. In regards to the project schedule, there's an 18-month design phase that is well underway. Jacobs, working with us, is proceeding with the final design as we start with some early enabling activities. We have investigatory work underway right now to support the design, consisting of geotechnical borings and field investigation that will last through the summer. And then starting in August and September of 2025, initial tree and vegetation clearing will begin so that we can set up the work zones. That will be followed with construction of a temporary access trestle running through fall 2025, followed by the permanent new bridge construction. Full beneficial use of the future Rourke Bridge is anticipated in 2029, and final completion of the project is in 2030. Next slide. Now, to walk through how the bridge will be built, we have a series of 3D renderings. All of these renderings are looking from the north side of the project, looking south. So in the bottom right-hand corner, you have Pawtucket Boulevard. And on the top left is the existing intersection of Wood Street and Middlesex Street. So most of the work will be accessed from the north side of the project off of Pawtucket Boulevard. There's an existing area where the new north approach will be that our construction access yard will be working from. So the first step is the land clearing, followed by access so that we can get out on the water to build the new structure. That requires us to build a temporary access trestle or a small work platform extending out into the Merrimack River. Next slide. So you can see here the trestle construction will proceed from the north abutment work zone, working south on a diagonal basis following the new alignment of the Rourke Bridge. we'll have a crane working its way out to set the new access trestle. Next slide. Once that access trestle has been installed, that will be our primary access to get machines, equipment, and craft onto the water. So we will not be using the local DCR access ramp further down at the Rourke Brothers boat ramp. Construction operations start working from the north side to the south at the 6 bridge pier locations. Consists of driving sheeted cofferdams to create dry work areas to build the bridge piers, followed by the drill shafts that support the bridge foundations, working our way to the south. In this rendering, you can see a drilled shaft being installed at the closest pier to the north abutment, Pier 6, while the sheeting is being installed at the Pier 5, just up downriver from that. Next slide, please. So in total, there are 6 sheeted cofferdams going in the river that will all be advanced, working from the north to the south. Next slide. So once the sheeted cofferdams are in place and the drilled shafts have been installed, the next step is to install the concrete foundations and piers that support the bridge. So these will be installed again, working from the north to the south, with 6 of those accessed from the temporary trestle, as well as barges working on the water. Next slide. So we mentioned access for the rowing community. At all times, 2 rowing lanes will be maintained and marked through the Merrimack River for recreational access. We also know that there's times when up to 6 rowing lanes and 1 return lane will be required for one of the many regattas that go across the Merrimack River. In this case, all of our construction operations have been designed such that the barges and equipment can be pulled to the north side of the river as shown here, and the temporary trestle only extends far enough that you maintain those 6 lanes plus the return lane. So we'll coordinate closely with all rowing activities to ensure that those events continue to occur. Next slide. So once all of the concrete piers have been installed, bridge steel erection will begin. Again, working our way from the north side moving south, steel girders will be set into place using a series of cranes working down. The next step, next slide please, will be placing the concrete bridge deck. So here you see this, all of the bridge steel is being installed, tying into the south abutment. Next slide. Followed by the concrete bridge deck being poured out from the north to the south. Once the bridge deck has been poured, we will open the new structure with 1 lane in each direction. Next slide. And that allows us to then take out on the south side where the existing Rourke Bridge is to build the full width bridge. Here you see the full 4 lanes of traffic in service, along with the new bikeways and pedestrian walkways. Once that full structure is constructed, we will proceed with demolition of the existing Rourke Bridge. Next slide, please. As you see here, that work will take place from the south, working north, taking the bridge apart span by span, lifting the structure onto barges, dismantling it, and bringing it to the north to be shipped off of site. Next slide, please. So that's the full construction sequence, bringing us to the full beneficial use in 2029. So I'll turn it back over to Billy now to talk about public involvement and keeping everyone informed.
Thanks, Andrew. So public involvement and minimizing impacts during constructions are top priorities for the project team. I'll now go over our approach to public involvement, abutter coordination, and review the different methods by which the public can stay connected and informed as the project moves forward. So at the outset of the project, we've developed a public involvement plan, which outlines our activities to keep stakeholders updated on project activities. One of the first items is that we've carried over a list of approximately 1,400 stakeholders from the design phase, which will be a growing list to ensure that we have a comprehensive group of contacts that we are reaching for the various individuals, organizations that are involved with the project. We also will be developing a schedule for public meetings, which we expect to host biannually or as needed as the project progresses. And as was mentioned, our first public meeting for the construction phase was Tuesday, July 15th at Collider Charter School of Lowell. Additionally, our plan outlines how we coordinate and notify elected officials through legislative briefings, individual and targeted outreach to abutters and community stakeholders, media and social media outreach and engagement, notifications to first responders, and any coordination needed with adjacent projects to minimize impacts and coordinate with the Lowell Regional Transit Authority during construction. Next slide, please. For project communications, there will be multiple ways in which the public can reach the project team to provide comments, feedback, or to report any complaints or issues. The design builder will be establishing a project hotline phone number that will reach the project team directly. So this number will be announced shortly after the public meeting. We also have a live project comment form where anyone can provide feedback that we will be monitoring and responding to, and a dedicated project email, which is massdot.rourkebridgeproject@dot.state.ma.us, as an additional method for the public to get in touch with us. Finally, we are maintaining the existing project website, so we will be providing traffic and construction advisory information on that website, as well as project schedule and milestone updates and materials for public meeting presentations and recordings. We'll also be sending regular stakeholder email updates and developing flyers for project activities, meetings, and milestones, which will be translated on an as-needed basis. And we'll be working with MassDOT Communications on media advisories and social media updates, as was mentioned. So finally, we'd like to thank the Lowell Sun for publishing the public meeting notice in English, Khmer, and Spanish, and MassDOT social media for helping to promote the meeting, and all the collaboration with the City of Lowell that will continue throughout the project. We'd also like to thank all of the various stakeholder groups and organizations in Lowell and Chelmsford who have helped us to share and distribute meeting flyers and project information in the community. That concludes our presentation. We would like to thank everyone again for viewing. To stay connected with the project, we would encourage you to visit our website, subscribe to project updates, and please feel free to reach us through the email or comment form for any questions and comments. Thank you very much.